You know, the closest analogy I can make of this game is this. Someone hands you a Game Boy. Someone comes up to you and says, "Here, have this Game Boy. Have a pre-charged battery. Have a free game." And you pick it up. And it's awesome. You're like, "Holy shit, I'm having fun playing this." And then someone picks it up, someone whacks it away, and before you know it, the Game Boy's on the ground, it's broken, it's crashed. You have to go pick it up. By the time you have it in your hands functioning again, you have to start all over again. That's the analogy I can draw of this game. Roll the clip. I said roll the clip. Outpost Save Yourselves, a game brought to you by Highland Gaming, currently available on the Zura for the low price of €4.49 or your regional equivalent. I would imagine it would be something like $5 or your regional equivalent. Calling itself a hybrid RTS, successfully combining elements of real-time strategy, random roguelike events, and chaos management, where players never play through the game quite the same way twice. You are initially tasked with choosing between one of three stations: Azuka, Vernadsky, or Burnalot. Upon arriving at your station of destination, you'll see that it has been left in a state of complete disarray, and this is where the chaos management or random events of the game actually do come in. You'll notice that across several playthroughs, of course, that the stations you arrive in, regardless of what you choose, are going to be in completely different states. In fact, you can choose the same damn station several times over, and the state you'll find it in will be completely different. Maybe it'll just be a couple of doors broken, maybe everything's on fire, and everything in between. It's a nice little indication of what's to come, and it does allow you to be put on alert, because guess what? It's only going to get worse from there. Gameplay is remarkably simple and fluid. You have two sides to your team. You have your commander, which is the green guy using the grenade launcher to kill walruses, and you have your initial 4 engineers. During daytime, you need to use your engineers to accomplish such tasks as moving supplies from the supply depot to the generator in order to generate power, and at the same time trying to use your commander to either explore the game world or to kill several mobs, mostly walruses of course, for food and supplies. How the hell walruses give supplies is anyone's guess, but whatever. I also have to point out that this game would be a hell of a lot less frustrating if you had something that didn't require you to use an arc. The fact that this guy uses a grenade launcher makes shooting anything at a distance quite hard, in fact, especially considering that walruses take 2 very direct shots until they die. Of course, they are a good source of supplies and food early on, but eventually you need to go to the merchant, which we will see later. During the day, of course, and during the night, you'll notice that there is in fact a counter on the top left screen that I'm pretty much just now draining. That counter, of course, is the generator power, and the small yellow bar, yellowish-orange bar above it will be the amount of supplies you have. The more supplies you have, the more power you can generate. This power can then be diverted into the various modules of the station, namely the temperature module, the radio/mining module, the health module, and the food module. These, of course, will help you and your team survive. You need to keep your team well fed, you need to keep your team treated, you need to keep them alive. And that means not just giving them food and medicine, but also keeping them from freezing to death. As you saw right now, I called an M1000 mining unit. That means that I have gathered enough, and I mean enough, power on the generator to call for that one unit. This is your one and only source of income if you don't want to sell stuff that you actually own. Keep in mind that you can pretty much call the M1000 unit anytime you want. However, as you'll see later, unobtainium actually gives you more money. Now at night, things get a little more complicated. You'll notice, and you'll start noticing very soon, that zombies will start appearing. Those zombies will attempt to destroy everything you own in your base, as well as kill every single person that you brought with you. So nighttime is actually a lot more complicated than it would just seem. If it wasn't enough for the nighttime actually trying to kill you with, cold, Arctic cold, there's also zombies trying to get your ass. So, until you have any sort of defenses propped up, it is your commander's job to go around and shooting zombies to prevent them from destroying every last one of your engineers and as well as your base. Keep in mind that you can in fact buy engineers, but They are very, very expensive, and there's a limit to how much you can go into depth. You can go into depth in this game, but not that much. I do believe the limit is minus 500 credits, so be careful and try to keep your engineers out of line of sight. Also keep in mind that even though the station itself might be warmed up, the outside isn't. You need to buy the brazier, or whatever the hell it's called, which does in fact provide light and heat outside the station. However, until then, you want to keep your engineers outside of the cold, as well as keep an eye out for the cold meter, which you're currently seeing going down, and I'm apparently ignoring for some reason. Come on, you dumbass. Come on. Oh god, I'm gonna freeze to death. As you can see, once the cold meter reaches below a certain area, you'll notice the station starts freezing over. It starts losing color and starts freezing over as such. So, pretty much during the night, it's a careful balancing act between how much power you have, how much power you can provide, and of course how much power you can divert to the cold, not the cold, to the, whatchamacallit, the various thing, the thing that makes you not die of cold. As you can see now, it does have a day-night cycle. Considering this is the Arctic, and because, you can't have 6 months of day and 6 months of night, you have roughly 10 hours of day to 22 hours of night. However, not all of those have mobs on screen. In fact, there's a small period between the day and night where the walruses disappear and zombies don't spawn, and there's a small period between the night and the day where zombies despawn, as you saw happen on screen, but the walruses still don't spawn. As you can see here, you'll need to, your team will call the dropship, and of course the dropship will crash, otherwise you wouldn't have that much of a game. After the dropship crashes, you have to reach the merchant, which will sell you the detector in order to buy the several pieces required, in order to buy the detector in order to find the pieces required to get the beacon up and running, and, get it done with and go home. For that matter, you have to engage in the exploration part of this game, which of course involves a hell of a lot of platforming and a hell of a lot of dodging obstacles, including the mammoths, the fireballs, and of course the, whatever the hell they're called. I call them the Fenrisian wolves. Pretty damn sure they're not Fenrisian wolves, but there you go. As you can see here, merchant. The merchant will sell you everything you need from, of course, food and supplies and medicine, and including some weapons like the turret, the detector, heal, and the blockades, including many others. Also, do keep in mind that the merchant's inventory does cycle at the end of every day, so you might have to go back and forth to see if you do get what you need. As you see, the purple glowish thingy is what the game calls unobtainium. If you call the M1000 mining unit anywhere else, you get 200 credits. However, if you call it on the unobtainium, you get 400 credits. Seems nice, doesn't it? Unfortunately, the unobtainium is only active at night, so of course, there's that risk. You could go for the safe route and simply try to, get 200 at a time, or you could go super extra duper, super duper dangerous, and try to get unobtainium. It's a lot faster in terms of money. However, you do have to realize you're going to have to make an even worse juggling act between what you need for heater power and what you need for mining power, because once again, it's active only at night. The game also offers you a screen where you can choose between your gear, your different upgrades, and of course the weapons you can buy at the merchant, as well as several upgrades you can get to the various rates in which you get energy, supplies, medical supplies, food, and of course, base integrity and armor. However, I should note at this point that in my many playthroughs of the game, I have several hours worth of this gameplay, I have not yet found any gear or any upgrades. Weapons, of course, has everything like from barriers to turrets, which of course to me makes no sense because, barriers aren't weapons as far as I'm aware of, nor braziers. I'm assuming that some of the items I saw, because they had a different outline, would be involved in either gear or upgrades. But at the end of the day, I have never found anything that could qualify as gear or upgrades. There appears to be no sort of random drop system, and the merchant's inventory is although it does in fact cycle, it does still stay within the same thing. It's going to sell you heal, it's going to sell you barriers, it's going to sell you turrets. Even after you buy something, it's not going to stop selling that something as far as I'm aware of. It's a bit weird. I just have to say that. The game also provides a challenge in the form of completely random weather events. You see here at night, of course, but it can also happen during the day. These are completely random, completely non-scripted, and will take you completely by surprise, going from earthquakes to blizzards, to snowstorms, to lightning storms. These things will take you completely out of left field, and you will have to postpone any plan you might have had because you really have to deal with them, as they do damage to both you and your base. As you can see in a video that should be popping up right about now, this is a blizzard, along with some lightning, I believe. It will randomly strike your base, causing random damage, as well as, just randomly dropping the temperature. Actually, no, that last part was a blizzard. This is a thunderstorm, as you can see by the random lightning strikes, which will attack your base and sometimes even attack you. Currently killing a Fenrisian wolf is the one thing on the middle, full of blood and a red circle. These lightning strikes will do severe damage to your base, and you will have to use your engineers to quickly repair the damage, otherwise you're going to end up with a base that's very nearly on the brink of disaster. And these things will appear from nowhere, so keep your eyes out, and for the love of God, don't leave your base alone. God. The game will also throw two different types of challenging zombies at you. The fire zombies, which you can see here, and electrical zombies, which you'll be able to see later. Both fire zombies and electrical zombies take more hits to be destroyed, and they have special attacks. Fire zombies will throw, of course, fire, which will instantly turn your base into a fiery inferno, while the electrical zombies, which you should be about to see, will stand outside your base and attack the inside with electrical charges, as well as attacking you, the commander, and your engineers with electrical charges. Both the electrical zombie and the fire zombie can attack from well outside the walls, so it's imperative that you destroy them as fast as humanly possible, or you're going to have to deal with a very unhappy base that's not only on fire, but also in very, very, very clear danger of short-circuiting. The game also has an exploration component whereby you leave the safety of your base to brave platforms over icy waters and fiery volcanoes of death in order to find your various mission objective items in order to get your ass back home. As you can see, quite the visual spectacle and incredibly frickin' hard. And here is where we run into problems with the game. It has incredible number of bugs. You see the platform down the middle, right there? Notice anything strange about it? Yeah, it's supposed to be aligned with the middle of the frickin' waterway. And it isn't. It's sticking to one side, making it borderline impossible for you to actually cross. Look! Boom, see? Back there, dead. Can't do anything. And this happens quite a lot. Look right here, see? And then back here. And the worst part is, this thing doesn't even stop if you die and come back, or if you just go away and come back. It will be permanently stuck. And you'll be randomly placed, even though you just crossed the water for some reason. It's really freaking weird. Sometimes it's not even that. Sometimes you have an even worse, and I mean really, really worse alternative, which is one of the platforms doesn't even just loop to become lopsided. No, some of the platforms actually go ahead and stay on one side. Like literally. Like, they get to one of the ends of the pathway, and they stay there, consistently going up and down, up and down, up and down, just a very tiny bit, like you saw before, making it impossible for you to cross in any feasible way. Basically, what this game does is, most of the time, you're going to be facing situations where you really, literally can't win. You just can't win. Because the game bugs out, because the game just glitches out, you literally can't win. A lot of mission-critical objectives will remain behind waterways that you simply cannot cross without sheer dumb luck or yet another game glitch. To speak nothing, of course, of the dreaded crashes that have been plaguing the fucking game since I started playing it, including, of course, the infamous help button crash. This game is mired in technical issues. Mired! Was this game play-tested? I don't think so. I mean, is it just me? If it's just me, then developer, I'm sorry, but I have to say what I have seen. And frankly, what I have seen is quite fucking horrendous. This game has an inbuilt self-destruct system. Hey, you're feeling bad about the game? Click the H button. You're feeling angry at the game? Feel H button. Hey, you want to quit, but you don't want to go through the hassle of clicking the goddamn quit button? Press the H button. It even says so on the top of the screen. Press H for help. I press H for help, and the game crashes. I click the icon for help, and the game crashes. Not to mention the random crashes all across the game. Not to mention, of course, the technical issues and technical bugs that I've already fucking talked about. I can forgive a lot of stuff, but this is unforgivable. Rule number 1 of video game design. Make sure your game, 1, is stable, 2, does not have crashes that can be exploited via the scientific method. It's replicatable. I can replicate the results. Click H button, click H button, click H button. Not to mention the fucking random crashes. So that if it's just me, if it's just an issue with my computer, again, I'm sorry, I really am. But I don't think it is. I don't think it is. I have no issues with any other game. Literally any other game. Just this one. I find it really odd that it's just this one giving me issues. Is it the Zura? I would hope not. Again, if this is just me, I'm sorry, but I can't let this slide. There's a lot of technical issues going on in this game. Most of the time I end up being unwinnable because the game won't let me win. But you might be thinking, is it worth buying then? Surprisingly, yes! Yes it is! I have fun with this game. I actually had fun playing this game. It's fun. It's entertaining. For the price tag, it's actually pretty good. It's a bit easy once you get access to the turrets, but getting to the turrets is a challenge. And of course that's me playing on Asuka, which is, in my opinion, the easiest base to win. If you go with Vernadsky or Bernardo, I'm sure you're going to have a much harder experience. This game is actually fun, but I can't let the technical issues slide. There's a lot of random bugs in this game. There's a lot of random crashes in this game. And quite frankly, you need to fix that. There's a content update apparently coming up. And frankly, I would hope that content update fixes most of these issues. If it does, I have no other issue. I have no other issue with this game. Just the technical bugs. Otherwise, for $5 or your regional equivalent, it's actually a pretty decent game. It really is. Roll the clip. Today, I'd like to bring to light my creation. Something I very much like to start using. I do not believe in giving out number scores for games. I think that's a bit stupid. So I'd like to introduce you all to the Burnalot Enterprises Color Wheel. As you can see, the Burnalot Enterprises Color Wheel is a wheel with several colors put into it. I know, shocking, isn't it? The Burnalot Enterprises Color Wheel is actually pretty simple. As you can see, there's black, white, and then there's red, orange, green, and blue. Now the order goes from black, red, and then all the way to the other side to white. Black, of course, is reserved for the worst game I have ever played, which right about now is very contested between Air Control and, of course, Guides of the Wolf. White would be the best fucking game I've ever played. It's a very nice tie between Antechamber and Skyrim. Red would be a game that is just so mired in technical and design and graphical issues as to be completely unplayable, or just be completely and utterly a bore to play. You know, like Right to Hell Retribution. Orange would be, of course, it's kind of bad, could use some more work. Not as fun as it could be. Green is, of course, yay, it's pretty damn fun. It might have issues, but it's green. And blue is, this is one of the awesomest games I've ever played. I love it. So yeah, as you can see, opposites are opposites. Quite an easy system, quite an easy way to attribute a value to a game without having to worry about giving it an actual number review. So you might be thinking, where does this game fall? Well, I'll tell you, this game falls squarely in the green. Yes, even with the random crashes, even with the help button crash, even with the bugs, this game falls in green. It's entertaining, it's easy to get into, and for the price tag, it's quite fun. Hell, I've had sessions where I could play like an hour and a half or 2 hours without no crashes. Without any crashes. And I like it. I really do. And I'd very much like to see this game get more love. because this game can benefit from so much more development, can benefit from so much more stuff. But hell, even if the developer chooses only to fix the technical issues, that'd be okay. This game is €4.49 currently on Desura, or your regional equivalent. And for the price tag, if you fix the technical issues, it's a steal! It's really, really good! So, I just have to say, this thing falls squarely in the green department. It really freaking does. Trust me on this one. It really freaking does. Anyway, thank you for tuning in, and please stay tuned in to the next review, which will be... no idea what it is right now, but it will be something. Goodbye!